On Monday, January 8th, the total number of journalists killed by the Israeli military, often in coordination with the American military, and a host of private contractors, the contractors who also run the surveillance systems at your high school or shopping mall. The total number of journalists killed in 3 months of attacks on Gaza reached 111, with the deaths of the journalists Abdullah, Breis, and Mohammed, Abdullah. What is happening there? It is most certainly not justified defense of Israel. No one in Israel even believes that anymore, now that they are slowly waking up to the deep and painful fraud that was October 7th. It is not simply about the abuse of the much abused Palestinians, people left homeless for generations and subject to the worst restrictions on every aspect of their lives. What is done to the Palestinians is horrible, for sure. Yet we Americans should not deceive ourselves about the significance of what is being done over there to those people with names that are hard to pronounce. As horrible as the treatment of Palestinians may be, it is not worse than how poor Americans are tortured, bitten by trained dogs, and killed in our private prisons. It is the same systematic abuse by a sick society in America and in Israel, steeped in hypocrisy and waddling in depravity. It is unprecedented in history that so many journalists were tracked by sensors and cameras that fed data to supercomputers, which then systematically ordered them murdered by drones, robots, missiles, and bombs for the sin of reporting to the world about the cruel slaughter of civilians in Gaza. No, the killing of journalists is not about obscure things happening over there in a far distant land. No, something entirely different and more horrible is being rolled out before your very eyes, rolled out so slowly and methodically that you must be very focused and attentive in order to notice it. Anthony Lowenstein explains in great detail in his book, The Palestine Laboratory, how Israel exports the technology of occupation around the world. He notes the process by which Israeli firms develop new technologies for tracking, identifying, intimidating, and killing people in Gaza and the occupied territories, and then export that technology to the rest of the world, to your neighborhood. The attack on Gaza is not just about Gaza, and it's not just about Palestinians. It's a test of new technologies for tracking and killing people that will be sold to the highest bidder, and there are many of them. So what does it mean that so many journalists were tracked down and killed in such a short period of time with such brazen impunity? The answer is as clear as it is horrifying, terrifying. This is an experiment in ending all reporting, in ending all journalism on a blatantly criminal operation by guaranteeing via facial recognition software that anyone who tells the truth will be murdered in good time. When the next stage of the conquest of the earth by the billionaires and their lackeys starts, perhaps even in a few months, when the money disappears, when water becomes undrinkable, when access to food ends, when drones, robots, and killer Starlink satellites start to murder at random, when things go over the deep end, as we all know they will, I ask you, what new know-how, what new technology and programs will the billionaires buy from Israel? What else but systems for killing journalists and any truth teller? This is the new reality for them, because they know that if they do not kill off journalists and truth tellers fast enough, they will not be able to implement the next stage of their plan. Thus, what is being done in Gaza today is what will be done in Galveston, Texas in October. What is being done in the West Bank next week will be done in West Bend, Wisconsin next May. We must stand together, here, there, and everywhere, to stop this trap that has been set for humanity using cold algorithms on supercomputers by the super rich. Stand up and take action today, right where you stand, to shut down this plan before it shuts all of us down.